So last year in college, when I had finals to study for at the end of the second semester, I had a lot to do. I was in a lot of units and really needed to sit down and find time to study. The problem is I was facing major burnout and I was unable to focus on studying for all these finals. I would sit down, I would try to study, and then I would end up talking to friends or going on YouTube on my laptop rather than actually studying the material. I believe this was due to my low attention span and not understanding the deep work principles that I understand today. I'm going to help you make sure this never happens to you, at least in the future, by giving you some insight on how to do deep work. Deep Work is a book written by author Cal Newport about how to be more productive in the work you need to do, the work that actually matters, deep work. Cal Newport also talks about how productive boredom can be rather than just scrolling on your phone or going on email doing shallow work. Many people's minds result to being bored as useless and unproductive, but being bored is way more productive than doing anything like watching short-form content on your telephone. With principles coined by Cal Newport, we can see that boredom can be a tool for enhancing deep focus and productivity when used correctly. Alright, let's start off with understanding deep work. Deep work is the power to work on tasks with 100% of your focus aligned to the current task at hand, with zero distractions and maximum productivity. The ability to achieve deep work is more valuable than it has ever been due to today's low attention spans because of social media and phones. So if you can really learn this technique, then you can be already 90% ahead most people. People today prioritize multitasking, not realizing that splitting up your brain power between 2 or 3 different tasks will make every task you are doing worth next to nothing. Deep work requires 100% of your attention and time, but also yields 100% results rather than the 10% that you may get from doing 2 or 3 tasks at the same time. A big example of this is a lot of people these days do their homework or work while watching TV when they should be just spending more time just focused 100% on their work, and then when they're done with that, they can spend 100% of their focus on their TV show if they want. Doing both at the same time will be unsatisfying and it will take you longer, you won't enjoy TV as much, and your work will suck. We're in a world where people can't even stay focused on short-form content without 2 different videos playing at once. We really need to learn how to fix this. I know I rant about people who have very short attention spans a lot, but I can do this because I too had a really low attention span. And I still do, but deep work took me from never starting the hard tasks in life that I didn't want to do to starting them and finishing them much quicker and more effectively than I ever imagined possible. Alright, my next point is going to be the importance of embracing boredom. Cal Newport explains in his book the importance of boredom as it is what spurs creative thoughts and gets your brain used to not being constantly stimulated. Why is not being constantly stimulated good? Well, because when you go to do your work, you will actually be able to focus on your work without giving into constant little distractions that will just make your work take 3 times as longer as it actually should. I think of my best ideas in life when I'm just sitting and staring at the wall. It's how I decide on what tasks to do, what my schedule should be for the next day, or what video ideas to pursue next. Being bored and doing nothing except for thinking will lead to the most valuable thoughts that you have ever had. I used to think I was one of the least creative people out there. Then I just realized I don't give my brain ample time to think. How do you think entrepreneurs get and expand their ideas to make billions of dollars? They spend time just thinking in a state of boredom, rather than scrolling on YouTube shorts, stimulating their brain with useless information. Alright, now I'm going to give you some actual practical strategies to implement deep work into your daily life. So what you need to do is put 2 blocks on your schedule that you will dedicate only to deep work. This will best be served as time that you are alone and undistracted. Make sure one block follows the other on the schedule. The best time limit for each block is around 90 minutes, as this is shown to be how long we can keep maximized focus for before we start to slow down. If you need this shorter when getting started, like 60 minutes, that is okay too. Personally, I implement my deep work by putting one block from 5 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Then I go for a light walk and get some water, and then my next block is from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. I know this is early, but you can implement this whatever time works for you. I just feel the morning works best for me. So when I'm done with these 2 blocks, I'm literally done with my work for the day. And it feels good to be done by 8:30 a.m. I want to re-emphasize, just make sure when you are doing deep work, you are in the most distraction-free of an environment possible. The best times to do this are super late at night after everyone's gone to sleep, or early in the morning before everyone wakes up. It really depends if you're a morning or night person, but I feel morning is 10 times better because my brain is fresh and my energy levels are high. To reduce distractions during this period, put your phone on airplane mode. Don't cope and say there might be an emergency. There's not going to be an emergency between these hours that you are doing some work. Personally, I turn off all notifications from all my apps and my settings, and this helps me be productive just throughout the day and not give in to little distractions that don't deserve my time. Alright, now with practicing boredom. Practicing being bored can be a huge driver to improve your deep work ability. You may want to schedule a time in your day to just sit and be bored. But another thing you can do that's productive is delete social media apps on your phone, and anything with short form content on it especially. This will stop you from constantly giving in to your low attention span and giving you time to realize the blissfulness of not being distracted and the importance of it. What I do instead of going on social media is, during my downtime, is a lot of times I will just get my Kindle and read. I'll read a lot of nonfiction books that will help me learn new things rather than just wasting time on social media. Times that I am waiting for something and there's really nothing else I could be doing but go on my phone, I just don't go on my phone. I sit or stand and just think, and this is 100 times more enjoyable and productive once you start getting used to it. An example is when you're going on public transportation like a bus or a subway, or you're in a class waiting for the lecture to start. If you look around, 95% of people will be on their phone. And then you look at everybody, and then you look at yourself, and you're that 5% that isn't on their phone. And this is a really good feeling. The times where I'm completely bored and not doing anything, I think of my most creative and productive thoughts. This time is productive. Alright, now I have a really important step for you that you need to do right now. Sit in your room and stare at the emptiest wall you have for just 5 minutes. Let your mind flow freely. And after these 5 minutes are up, you can set a timer. Write down or type what you remember popping in your head after the 5 minutes are over, and put it in the comments for other viewers to see. Alright, know this takes practice. Have a good one.